This time it is for your viewing pleasure on Freeview, and we have your 7-day guide to everything good on the movies. So we're going to kick off with your Saturday night fix. It's going to be We're the Millers on ITV2 at 9 p.m. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought Jennifer Aniston was brilliant in it. Will Poulter, what a great role in this as well. And it's just a really good, fun movie that's kind of unexpectedly played out in a way.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Because it has that classic, almost National Lampoon's level road trip element to it. It's even got Ed Helms in it, who would star in that reboot. But I expected this to be a nuts and bolts boilerplate, 100-minute long comedy. I've seen the best bits in the trailer. That'll be that, Sat down, watched it, laughed my ass off a few years ago. This stars, of course, it's Jason Sudeikis, Jennifer Aniston, Emma Roberts, and Will Poulter, and they are the fake family that form in order to drive an RV over the border with a bunch of drugs hidden inside. That's it, right? That's the one?
That's it. Yeah, I mean, a very, very simple, nice to follow, easy premise. Obviously very realistic, but do you know what? It's a hell of a ride.
It is a hell of a ride, and it's chock full of great character moments like this.
No, I'm good. I got it right over here. Thanks. Thank you. Sorry.
Honey, hi. You made it.
Eat it.
Sorry. Sorry. Okay. Wow, you look really very
Don't. Just don't. All right.
Okay.
Hi, Mom.
Jesus. And who's that?
That's your daughter, Casey.
Hey.
I want 30,000 now.
Why?
Okay. Have a safe flight.
What? No. Okay. Fine. Bloodsucker.
All right. Happy wife, happy life. Hi, kids.
Happy life, happy wife, says Jennifer Aniston. And do you know what? She gets that. Do you remember the gratuitous stripper scene that she has?
I was going to mention it. I did think it was very gratuitous, but equally I was like, if I look that good when I'm at Jennifer Aniston's age and can do that, I mean, fair play to her.
It's really strange, isn't it? Because it is a really gratuitous sequence, but there is, at the same time, there is this sort of narrative empowerment angle to it. You're like, this really is a bit of a head-scratcher. Okay, there's so many great moments, though. There's Will Poulter getting a very specific injury in there that I'm trying not to dwell on too much. There's the no regrets, or regrets, was it tattoo? The kid has no regrets.
Yes.
Spell.
No Rugrats, yeah.
Yeah, and of course, Nick Offerman turning up. It's just a really great movie. I had a lot of laughs at this.
Do you know what, as well? I just think if you've seen this a few years ago, it's definitely worth a rewatch, and it's on at a decent time. ITV2, as we said before, 9 p.m. on Saturday night. It's a really easy one to just sit back, relax with a few beers, and just really enjoy.
Oh, yeah. So that's ITV2, 9 p.m. Perfect. Kind of Saturday night, 9 p.m. movie.
Yeah.
Really?
100%. Yeah.
I'm going to give you a bit of an afternooner for Sunday, I think, over on Channel 5 at 5:05. I mean, I feel like they should have done it on the 5th. But anyway, we've got Hellboy. It's not the rubbish recent one. It's the good first one by Guillermo del Toro. You know, the one with Ron Perlman, the one with Selma Blair, the one with Abe Sapien and Agent Myers and John Hurt is, of course, the story of Hellboy facing off against none other than a return from the grave or return from Hell Dimension, Gregory Rasputin, of all people, which brings in Agent Myers to the team, sort of shows us the world, and of course sends them off on this quest, during which they will face, losses and wins, and ghouls and ghosts and goblins and creatures from other worlds.
He gets fed 6 times a day. He's got a thing for cats. You'll be his nanny, his keeper, his best friend. He never goes out unsupervised.
Who?
I hate those comic books. They never get the eyes right.
Hellboy. He's real.
Yeah, 60 years old by our count, but he doesn't age like we do. Think reverse dog years. He's barely out of his 20s.
How good is Ron Perlman in these movies?
Yeah, Ron Perlman is great. I have to say, for me, it's not on my it's not on my traditional viewing set list, should I say, to go and watch Hellboy, but I appreciate it for what it is. I mean, Guillermo del Toro is just a master at what he does, and so visually, if you kind of think this sort of comic book take is not really the thing that you enjoy watching, I would definitely say still give it a watch. It's there for the taking. It's one to kind of completely immerse yourself in. So, and yeah, it's a great performance from Ron Perlman.
It is. I read a really interesting article recently about Hellboy 2, and because Hellboy 2 had opened in the summer of 2008, and it was said that, do you know what, if Hellboy 2 had opened a year later, the comic book boom, that sort of the next wave of the comic book boom would have kicked in, and Hellboy would have been caught up in that as part of that. And it's such unfortunate timing that, you know, the summer that gave us The Dark Knight and Iron Man, and also Hellboy: The Golden Army, that didn't propel Hellboy forward any further, which is a shame, because I really love Hellboy 2 as well. I love the first one, I love the second one perhaps even more. I'd argue the second one's even better.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, that is your Sunday afternoon sorted. So apparently the weather's going to change on Sunday anyway, so it's a perfect time to sit down and just sit there in front of your TV screens and watch something very, very dark and brooding. So there's your pathetic fallacy probably going in with it. Moving on to Monday, starting off your week. Now this one, again, it's one of those movies that I think does divide people a little bit. It is Drive on the Sony channel at 11:20 p.m. So it's a late one for you. Were you a fan of Drive?
I was a fan of Drive. I just need to take a moment with Drive, because every time I talk about Drive on radio, I have to give a shout out to my friend John Colson, who has never forgiven me for not giving Drive a place in the top 10 films of 2011 list, and he's forever ridiculed me for this. So I feel bad. Hashtag Hannah, hashtag I thought my dad. But he'll get it. It's a whole thing. But no, Drive is a film. I love this, because didn't they remix this a few years ago on like BBC Three or something?
Yeah. I think they did,
That was the thing, because it's all about the soundtrack. Now, it's worth noting, we don't have a clip for Drive. Now, the reason we don't have a clip for Drive is because there's so little dialogue in the film, so little dialogue from Ryan Gosling as the lead character, that it's kind of hard to sum up a clip of anything other than the music, and the music will get us killed for copyright on YouTube. So, I'm not going there.
You're absolutely right when you talk about it is the music, because the argument for it is that a lot of people kind of think it's like what Hannah did. It's kind of a glorified music video in a way, which I get.
Yeah.
You know, and you're gonna love or hate that, aren't you? So it's gonna work for a lot of people, but for some people, it's just one of those things that you just kind of go, wasn't this supposed to be 3 minutes long? It's now 2 hours.
For me, there is a wonderful balletic quality to Drive, the way that it utilises music. And I think it is easily the best film that Nicholas Winding Refn has ever crafted. I think it's the only time that his vision and his material have sort of lined up. He's had the right performer for it. Noticeably when he went on to do, I think it was
Place Beyond the Pines. Yeah, and The Place Beyond the Pines as well.
But all of the follow-ups to this, I don't think, was Place Beyond the Pines Nicholas Winding Refn?
Yes, I think it was. To my knowledge,
I'll have to check that.
I could be wrong.
But I know Only God Forgives was, and I found Only God Forgives an absolutely intolerable movie that was simply trying to replicate all the stuff that had worked in Drive. And Drive has so many great things working for it, like Oscar Isaac and Carey Mulligan, that soundtrack, that direction, Ron Perlman again. Imagine that's 2 days in a row for Ron Perlman. Just a great movie, I thought.
Yeah, and I think what it does really well is it teeters on that balance of self-indulgence, but it doesn't go too overboard on that. But you're right, like Only God Forgives, I think, is an incredibly self-indulgent film, and you kind of, for that reason, he just can't strike that same balance. But there was a commercial element to it before with Drive that worked really well, and that for me is what kind of made it more, I suppose, likable by wider generations of audiences. So if you're unsure as to whether or not you like it or not, or it's worth a rewatch just to double check that and just see it in a fresh light.
And it sold a boatload of Scorpion jackets.
Yeah, it did. It's very, very cool.
So, Miss Perfect, I think, you know, we've hit the ground running. We might as well take it to the skies for Tuesday, and on 5 Star at 11 p.m. Tuesday night, I've got a Jodie Foster thriller in the air for you. It's none other than Robert Schwenke's Flight Plan from 2005. Have you seen this one?
I haven't, but that's probably to do with the fact that I have a fear of flying. So I don't really like watching movies that are about hijackings or plane crashes or things like that, unless absolutely forced, which I have had to do before.
It's actually possible as well. If you'd said yes, it would have been equally likely that you hadn't seen it and you had actually seen the movie Red Eye, which came out around the same time. So it was Flight Plan and Red Eye were out. So one starred Cillian Murphy, the other one starred Jodie Foster. This one is Jodie Foster is on a flight with her daughter. They're flying back to the US. Her husband's died overseas. She's flying the body back. She falls asleep. She wakes up. Kid's gone. And then she discovers no one's heard of the kid. The kid never boarded the plane with her. What's going on? So she sets out with the aid of a US Marshal, played by Peter Sarsgaard, to find out what's going on. She enlists the help of passengers, she boils paranoia up in the cabin, and she more than a little irks the captain, played by none other than my boy, Sean Bean.
How come there's only one coffin down there? Huh? If my daughter had died with my husband, I'd be flying 2 coffins home, wouldn't I? Wouldn't I?
You know what? I don't know. I don't care. You just scared the out of 400 passengers, people who didn't plan on spending the night in Newfoundland.
My daughter's alive. You know she's alive. You know she's on this plane.
Why didn't anybody see her?
So yeah, it's a thriller in the sky, and it's Jodie Foster. I mean, of course it works. It's going to work, isn't it?
I mean, to be honest, surely that kid couldn't have gone very far. It's only what's the biggest seated jet that you could fly on? I mean, those A380s. I mean, it'll take a while, but she's got to be there somewhere. Just check every suitcase.
Of course, it's just the 9-story commercial passenger jet. You know, it's one of them ops. You know.
No, I really like the premise of this because actually, for an mid-early 2000s kind of film, you still got that kind of fall over of the 90s greatness and how to do a thriller really well for a more commercial audience. So I think this is something that will feel nostalgic but also more current at the same time. So it's a good balance there. That's brilliant. So that's on 5-star at 11 p.m. That's one to get your heart racing before you actually try and go to sleep. Who needs coffee? On Wednesday, I love that this is on the Sony Movies Classic channel because this is an absolute classic, and it's on at 10:55 p.m. on Wednesday. It is Austin Powers International Man of Mystery. This is one from the vaults. This is one that I think we need to just drag out again and watch. It will put a smile on your lockdown face, won't it?
It is, and it's so weird. I feel like we've all kind of forgotten the concept of Austin Powers. Like, Austin Powers has become so iconic as a character that I think we've all forgotten the actual plot, which was, a spy frozen in the 60s, revived in the 90s to catch his newly returned arch nemesis, who's also returned. It's basically the plot of Demolition Man, done as a sort of Michael Caine early 60s spy parody when you sit and think about it. But of course, it leads to my favourite scenes in the whole Austin Powers franchise, which are the process by which Austin Powers is woken up.
You've been cryogenically frozen for 30 years.
Who are these people?
The shouting is a temporary side effect of the unfreezing process.
Yes, I'm having difficulty controlling the volume of my voice!
This is Commander Gilmore, U.S. Strategic Command, and General Borshevsky, Russian intelligence.
Russian intelligence? Are you mad?
A lot's happened since you were frozen. The Cold War's over.
Well, finally those capitalist pigs will pay for their crimes, eh? Hey, comrades? Hey?
Austin, we won.
Oh, groovy, smashing. Yay, capitalism. Hello.
And I love that communism gag. Absolutely love that.
But I also love the fact when he tries to relieve himself and it just takes forever.
Yeah, it takes about 15 minutes. Yeah, this was Mike Myers on peak form. This is top shelf Mike Myers.
Absolutely, and I think if you are looking for 2 decades in which to have lived in at the high, like your most prominent sort of age range, it's got to be the 60s and the 90s. I mean, they're both as bonkers as each other. So he fits in so well with that. And Liz Hurley, great performance from her in this as well. I really enjoyed
Liz Hurley. Was it this was the movie with the fembots, wasn't it? It was Austin Powers that had the fembots.
I don't think that this movie ages in any way. And actually, when it made their sequel as well, that worked so well as well. So, this if you haven't introduced, I was going to say the kids to it, but a younger generation to this.
Don't introduce the kids.
Don't introduce the kids.
You do.
No, but the younger generation that might not have seen it, definitely see if they've got the same sense of humour as we all did back in the 90s.
So that's on Sony Movies Classic, 10:55 on Wednesday night, which of course then takes us through to Thursday. Now I want to stress, this had to be chosen. Only because the remake of this movie, the truly terrible, terrible remake, is on TV a lot. And the original, which is light years better, never is. So, of course, Thursday night, ITV4, 9 p.m. It's one of my favourite movies of all time. It is Paul Verhoeven's 1987 RoboCop.
What are your prime directives?
Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law.
Huh? I love that guy.
I love this guy too. And that, by the way, the guy who creates him is Miguel Ferrer. You'll know the actor. He is George Clooney's cousin, would you?
Oh, wow. That's interesting. I have to say, I really enjoyed the original of this. I thought, you know, it's one of those things that, again, I remember sitting and watching it with my dad and having a really good time. You know, this is the thing. It's like, this is your education, daughter. This is what you need to be watching.
That is some father-daughter bonding time right there. Come on, I'm going to show you this subversive take on fascism from Dutch director Paul Verhoeven.
Well, it was that and Universal Soldier.
Oh, your dad did it the right way, you see.
Yeah, exactly.
But let's go to Friday then. Speaking of doing it the right way, this is how you end a week. This was, I think I gave this my second favourite film of 2011. And this is on 5-star, 11:15 on Friday night. It is a Jason Statham cop thriller in which Jason Statham, wearing a series of elaborate cardigans, I mean really, no man has ever looked this good in a cardigan, tries to take out a serial killer played by Aidan Gillen from Game of Thrones.
He set fire to a police dog. YouTubed it. Somebody asked him why he did it. He said, practice.
Well, that's it.
Seriously, he's a nutter.
If we pulled in every who said that, we'd be up to our arse in suspects. What's his name?
Well, I don't know. But I'm meeting a guy later who's going to get it from me.
Don't bother. I'll go to the gym. Ask the manager.
Do you see, don't I get something?
I left you the rest of my crisps, you greedy bugger. What more do you want?
It's Statham in Blitz. It's a belter. You got to see this, Bex.
I think I've either seen the trailer for this or I've actually seen it. I can't remember. But I'm excited to see it again and find out which one it was.
Oh, God. I tell you, the best part of it as well is he has like a cop sidekick. Statham has a cop sidekick played by Paddy Considine. And the whole thing is that their police unit is innately homophobic. Statham doesn't care. But between the two of them, he sort of just makes the odd aside, satirical kind of attempt at a homophobic comment. And the problem is that Statham can't convincingly pull it off. So it just becomes kind of charming and funny in a very strange way. Considine, though, absolutely terrific in this movie. I can't recommend it highly enough. It's sick, it's violent, it's twisted, it's weirdly hilarious. It's Blitz, you got to see it.
Oh, brilliant. Well, that's definitely one to round off the week then. So you've got your 7-day guide there from everything from Saturday all the way through to the following Friday. I mean, what's not to love? This is lockdown at its finest here. So do not worry. You've got something every night of the week to keep you entertained. My big pick is going to be Austin Powers International Man of Mystery on Wednesday, Sony Movies Classic at 10:55 p.m. But there's so many more other good choices there. So make sure you stay tuned. We're going to come up right now with your DVDs and Blu-rays and streamings.